This week, we have challenged Natalie's sister, a chef of 27 years, to make a traditional British roast dinner, which is basically a Christmas dinner, in our RV. Good luck. She's used to commercial kitchens.
Really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I just wonder.
Welcome back to Brazen Brits for this special Christmas edition. We got something different this week, and it's by special request. In fact, a lot of people, other than the dog fence, this is probably our next most requested video.
It is, yeah.
And so, this is Natalie. She's my
Hi.
American wife, who's actually British. And this is Stephanie, my English wife,
Hello.
who's also Natalie's sister. It's all a bit weird. It's all a bit weird, if I'm honest. But Stephanie has come over. They've opened the borders, and she's come over. And she said that she would cook us a traditional English roast dinner, which is basically a Christmas dinner. What we didn't tell her is that she has to do it in the RV. She was like, yeah, no worries, no problem, until she saw some of the appliances and the sizes of things. But she says she can do it.
Yep,
She's
definitely.
confident. Oh, did I mention that Steph was a chef? Anyway, let's get on with it. Good luck, Stephanie.
Good luck.
I'm going to go and sit over there. Are you helping?
Oh no.
No? Okay. I'm going to sit over there behind the camera. Natalie's going to stand here and we'll...
See how this goes.
Good luck.
Thank you. First things first, before you do anything, you want to get your stove burner going, your oven nice and hot, and then you put some oil into a pan and you get that nice and hot. And then I'm going to season my beef. My pan is now up to temperature. We're now going to sear the meat. Now when you sear some meat, basically what you're doing is you're locking in all the flavours, but you're also protecting the outer casing of the meat so it doesn't sort of seep or burn, and you keep all of the juicy moisture inside the beef rather than it seeping out. So you really need to make sure that all the corners, all the edges, everything is seared all the way round. As you can see now, that's completely seared all the way around. It looks like it's fully cooked. It's not, it's completely raw in the middle. But this just protects the meat. Then once you've done this, you're going to put it into your preheated oven. You're just going to literally pop it onto a baking tray. You're going to put all that lovely juicy oils onto your meat as well, because that helps it baste nicely. And then we're going to pop that straight into your preheated oven. We've got it on 400 Fahrenheit. Potatoes, obviously real simple. Chopped them. They're in cold salted water. We're going to put them on the heat. And we're going to parboil them, so that means we're going to get to a point where they're not quite cooked all the way through, but they're almost cooked. Veg. Another really, really easy way of doing veg, especially in an RV, is you don't want to use so many pots and pans, and a lot of things that put people off roasts is the amount of washing up, lots of pots and pans. One thing I think is amazing to do, especially in these kind of close quarters, is to roast your veg. It's a really easy way of doing it. You can roast any veg, all depends on just timings. But with this, we're just going to put a little bit of oil on the bottom, and we're going to heat that oil up so it's nice and hot. We've got butternut squash, we've got carrots, and we've got some Brussels sprouts. And in this one, we've got some broccoli. And we're going to roast all of these together. Okay, so my oil is now up to temperature. Now, I tend to go with whatever is the bigger... Wasn't very well chopped. Remove that one, no one knows.
We can add our carrots.
Smaller ones on top.
Smaller bits and easier, leafier ones on top. Now we're going to leave the broccoli because the broccoli will cook much, much quicker than all of these kind of rooty type veggies. I'm just going to drizzle a bit more oil just on the top. Here is some rosemary is this from your garden?
It is, yes.
So it's slightly dried, which is nice because it means it's easier to handle. And depending on if you like it, sometimes it's quite good just to add in a garlic clove. And then this goes back into your oven for about 40 minutes. Now I'm going to show you how to make traditional British sage and onion stuffing. First of all, the only cooking part really at the moment is to saute your onions. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to bung all the ingredients that, I'll get Natalie to leave a link below, all together into that. And then we're going to try and use, I've never used an air fryer, so we're going to use the air fryer to cook them. Okay, so just melting my butter in a pan, throwing in my onions, give them a nice saute, throw it into the rest of all the other mixtures, Adding your sage, mix it all together, drop in 1 egg, keep mixing, and then up to you if you want to make balls or you can make other shapes. We're doing balls today, and into the air fryer they go. Back to the potatoes. We should be at a position now where they are they're still hard, but they've got a little bit of softness to them. We're going to drain them. Can I drain them there? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. And we're just going to let them steam off for a bit, and then we'll add them to the beef. Okay, so these are ready to go into the beef now. What I'm going to do just quickly before I do it is I'm going to season them with salt, pepper, and a little bit of corn flour over the top just to help give them that real crispiness.
So Steph, why did you turn the oven off? At what point did you think that was a good idea?
I didn't realise I did it.
Just to let you know, whilst you're cooking your Sunday roast, don't turn the oven off halfway through. That wastes time.
Nothing to see here. Apparently this is the reason you're all here. Homemade Yorkshire puddings, all right? The best and only way of doing these is you have to have your little tins and you have to douse them with a good quantity of oil at the bottom. I'm sort of covering it by, hang on, what's the American, 1/8 of an inch? I can remember. Or a centimetre if you're English. I've pre-made the batter.
Millimetre, not centimetre.
I'm going to put these in here. These have to be hot. So I've got a convection oven, never used this before. So we'll see how it goes, but these need to be, can't stress it enough, you need to really heat them up. So we'll get these in here. Is it going to start? Do you have to push start?
Yep.
Okay, and then we'll see, we want them to be almost smoking, we want them that hot, and then we'll pour our batter in. Right, so my beef is done. It's had an hour for this kind of size. We like it sort of medium, so we've gone with medium. We're now going to rest it. This has to rest for at least 20 minutes. And the reason is when you're cooking, all the heat from all the fat, it's sort of making everything sort of spit and spat around, and if you cut into it straight away, the juices just run out. What you actually want to happen now is you want it to cool down a little bit and expand back, sort of back down, contract back down, so that the juices then retain themselves within the meat, making the meat much more tender and much more juicy. So we're going to rest this for a good 20 minutes. It will keep its heat whilst it's in foil, and it now gives us a bit more space for our roasties, and it also gives us a lovely juice to soak up our roasties into as well. And these can go back in our oven. Our veg is now pretty much almost done. It needs only probably about 5-10 minutes. This is a good time to add the broccoli. So we're just going to tip the broccoli on the top, and just on the broccoli, just give it a little light drizzle just to help that crisp up nicely in there as well. But the flavours already, you can really start to smell them, amazing. And then we can put that back in the oven. I am taking out the Yorkshire pudding trays with the hot oil in. I'm going to add the Yorkshire pudding mix into the hot oil. 2 have come out really well, they're really hot and ready. The other 2 are not, but I suppose that's just rvliving. I'm going to put them back in and see what happens. They should take about 20 minutes and they should rise up nicely. Last but not least, we need some gravy. So into here I'm putting in about a teaspoon or tablespoon, I suppose, of butter. And we're going to add, we've got some beef stock, I'm going to add in a little bit of that, probably just a cup and a bit. 3 teaspoons of onion powder. And then we're going to add 1.5 tablespoons, was it just 1? I think it's just 1. I'll go with 1 of garlic powder. Now we need to make up our corn flour. So 3 teaspoons of corn flour. And you can normally check with this, depending on how thick you like your gravy or how thin you like your gravy. Just going to put a little bit of water in with this just to help it to turn into more of a paste or a liquid, so it makes it easier to add. And now our butter's all melted in, we're just going to pour this in and we'll just cook that out. Now here, depending on where you are and what kind of consistency, you can add a little bit more stock if you find it too thick straight away. That's why it's always best to keep a little bit of stock back, just so you can adjust accordingly until you find the consistency that you like. Okay, so everything is done. Everything's ready to go. We've left the Yorkshires in. They still need another minute. But everything's ready to go. I'm about to carve the meat and then we get to serve up.
It's all around us. Christmas has found us. Yet another year. We are the fortunate ones, all us daughters and sons. Everyone's still here, and that's something to be grateful about. Let's be grateful we're still here.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. I need a nap now. But how did you find cooking in an RV compared to the commercial kitchens you're used to?
I've obviously never cooked with propane before.
Okay.
You know, I probably had camping, but not doing a roast dinner. So the timings on the beef were a little bit like off. I would have preferred it just a little bit.
Yeah, you
less
thought it was
done.
overdone. That was perfect. for me.
Yeah, and I know you asked for medium, so I knew that it was going to be sort of close. Me personally would have probably liked it a little bit less than
Yeah,
that,
the same.
but that's just me, I suppose, and that's personal preference. But no, I think it's been fun. It's a definite learning curve. I've never used an air fryer or a convection oven before.
And you didn't like... So Stephanie didn't like the convection oven.
No, we
because
can't really work it
didn't-
out, to be fair.
It didn't... Well, we've used it before and we quite enjoyed it, but the Yorkshires didn't quite turn out right, so you moved them down to the proper oven.
Yep.
That's why they took a little bit longer than what we thought they would. But
Yeah.
overall, everything was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Even your gravy recipe that we're going to steal.
Yep.
Anyway, that's all we have time for. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We are going to take the first week off since we started the channel on the Christmas weekend, so we're not here next weekend. We will be there the weekend after.
Yeah.
So, Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.